So good morning. Today is beautiful outside. It is a little chilly, but we managed. I am drinking my water. As soon as I got home, I grabbed my bottled water, which I previously filled up before I went out. And thankfully I did, because it just helps. Like, I'm so thirsty. And I guess the weather outside is super dry or something. I don't know why I'm so thirsty. Last night, I drank my entire Starbucks tumbler. In fact, this morning when Donnie left for work, I actually woke up and started to do stuff. I know, 2 things, amazing. I realized my bottle was empty, and so just crazy how I drank it all last night, which isn't real unusual, but it kind of is, because usually in the morning when I get up, I usually have a little bit in there. So I had to go and refill that, and then I decided, well, I might as well refill this bottle while I go and take Smokey out for a walk. That way when I get back, I'll have my water ready. And you know what's funny is, like, you're inside and you're kind of chilled, and then you go outside and you start moving around and doing stuff. And then when you come back inside, it's hot. So I had like a couple layers on, and boy, as soon as we got inside, I was like, ugh, you know. And I made sure Smokey had water, because I could tell, like, at the end he was kind of panting, and so I'm like, it must be super dry out. There's like some rain, or there's some clouds out, but I don't think there's going to be rain at all. So I don't know. Anyways, so today I do heparin in my bag, which is, I inject heparin. Sorry, I have not had enough coffee. I inject heparin into my bag because the fibrin likes to take over my body and plug up my port. And again, fibrin is kind of like white boogery substance. Or like if you fall down and you scrape yourself and you notice that your body goes into action, right, to stop the bleeding and start it to healing, and then you get your scabs. Well, all of those things, platelets and trying to think. I think that's what it's called, because it's not mucus, but it kind of looks like that sometimes. Anyways, that's fibrin. And so fibrin likes to go into overdrive, because still, after all these years, my body thinks that my port is the enemy. So it tries to fill it up, right? So I use the heparin to help it to declog, basically. Or maybe thin it out enough so that I can drain it out, something like that. Anyways, I was noticing that I get my syringes from DaVita, and apparently, according to Deborah, I can actually order them with Weldyne, and then I don't have to carry them and transport them from DaVita, which is fine, because usually I just get a box, and it's not a big issue at all. But it's probably better that Weldyne just delivers the syringes and the heparin to me. I'll be interested to see how many syringes I get, because I use one syringe for the whole day. So I don't believe that I'm supposed to use one syringe per injection, because what I do is I put heparin in each of my bags. So every time I do my exchange, then I'll inject it. So what I noticed, though, is there are 2 different sizes of syringes. So typically I get the littler size. Which is pretty great, because it's just simple. It doesn't seem overwhelming. And then the next one, I got this one. And I'm like, see? Now this one here seems like serious business. This one here seems like I'm just injecting a little heparin in my bag and go along my day. But this one here is like, whoa, it's big. And then also this one, you know, I do a certain amount, but the amount seems bigger in this one than it does this one because of the size difference. But I still inject the same amount, regardless of which needle I have to use. But it's just weird how just a little change like that can kind of feel so different and not overwhelming, but like, whoa, what's going on? Almost more serious. Like the bigger the thing is, it's like, whoa, I better make sure I'm doing this. I did open a new bottle this morning to use. And so every time you do your exchanges and you have to use heparin, you take your friend Alcavis and you put it a little bit on top of there, so that what it's doing is disinfecting your heparin before you inject, and then you'll take that off with your gauze, so before you inject the needle into it, and that way everything stays sterile. And it's kind of cool because those little bottles are glass, so you have to be careful because they are glass, and the little rubbery thing does its best to keep out all the bacteria, germs, or anything that can get inside. And then as soon as I'm done doing my exchange, or sometimes before I start the exchange, I'll put the bottle back into the fridge, and that way it stays cold. So until I open it, it doesn't go in the fridge. But as soon as I pop that little top off, and then I know I'm going to use that bottle, then I go ahead and put it in the fridge. That way the cold of the refrigerator keeps the bacteria away. Which is why hospitals are always cold, because they're trying to keep bacteria infections and things like that, germs, from having a nice warm place to reproduce. So I do know that when you do go to the hospital, even if you're in the waiting room, you can ask for a warming blanket. And believe me, sister, I have, because it is chilly in there, even when you live like a place like Tucson, where it's like 115 outside or whatever, and you're close to death because it's hot. And you go inside the waiting room of the emergency room or the hospital, and after a little while, you can start to feel chilled because the AC's on full blast, thank God, but they keep it cooler. So that's why it's cooler in there. So other than that, I don't know that much has been happening lately. I do get to see Dr. Olivier, I think. Oh, I broke my nail. Oh man, I didn't even notice that. Sad. So I got my nails done finally. So one of the cool things I did for myself this last week was I got my nails done. And my friend, during COVID, actually I met her at the gym. She was a Zumba instructor on Friday nights. And you would think that people would be at the gym on Friday nights. Like if you don't have a social life, just go to the gym, right? But her class was always pretty small, and I really liked it because it was pretty small. And she had a good little group following, and we would Zumba, and then I would go about my night, whatever it happened to be. But when COVID hit, of course, and the gyms all went down, and it was crazy, and everybody, went away from each other. It was a crazy time. And so anyways, during that time, she learned how to do nails. And so about 2 months ago, she was running a special, and so I contacted her and we started talking, and I said, I'd like to get my nails done. And so we did that, and apparently the nail polish she used, I don't know if I had a reaction to it or if it wasn't strong enough or what the deal was, but it just basically peeled right off. And we laughed about it because we're like, oh my gosh, only I would have this experience, So I told her this time I wanted to just get tips, my French tips on, and I went ahead and got 2 little stickers. You can't really see them, but it's a little reindeer and the Grinch, just a little touch for Christmas. And so these went on really well, and I do have to say that she uses a non-odor or odorless, I guess. I don't know what it is because I don't do nails, so I don't really know what it is, but it's like this stuff, like the gel, the stuff that puts like fills in where the fake tip is to your nail, whatever that concoction is. So she uses that, and once she gets it all set up, then you put your hands in the like the black light, and she's like, it might burn a little. Because I was like, why are my fingers hot? And she's like, well, yeah, it'll burn for like 2 or 3 seconds and then it'll be done. And it's not really burning, but it's like that non-odored concoction that is used is so much more healthier than the stuff that probably most salons use, because, salons has that smell. I don't know what it is. It's epoxy, maybe something like that. They're the acrylic smell or something, but she uses that. And I have to say that it was very cool because I didn't even know they sold that stuff, first of all. And even though it seems weird, like your fingertips kind of burned for a few seconds, it only lasted a few seconds and then never again. And when I got home and I was doing whatever, my fingers didn't feel violated. Because sometimes when you get your nails done, I don't know if it's a constant scrubbing or the picking or the all the steps they do, or if it's, I want to say it's probably that epoxy or whatever it is that they're using. Your fingers can kind of feel sensitive and then kind of burnish. Like, people don't really talk about that, but they definitely can feel tender, maybe for a day, and then you're good to go. But I did not feel nothing like that at all with her stuff. And so I think, dang, she did a really good job, and they're doing really good. Now, I had to grab the leash a little aggressively this morning, and I heard a little snap, but I looked and I was like, oh no, everything's fine on my one hand, but I didn't look on my other hand. So now I see that I broke a nail. So I guess I'll have to call her, or maybe I'll message her and see what I should do about that, because I think I could just trim it, like take, clippers and trim it down, kind of sand it down a little bit, because I don't think it needs to be replaced. I think it was just a fluke thing that happened, perhaps. I don't know. Anyways, that's my dilemma today, I guess. So I'm going to go, because I need to make breakfast. I need to get Smokey fed, and I need to do some vacuuming and some household chores today, because I don't have Charlie, which is unusual for a Friday. I typically always have him, and so his mom doesn't work today, so I get a break. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful day. Again, if I don't see you before the holidays, have a happy holiday. Okay, bye-bye.